Welcome to Caneswear.
New store, new items, same great experience. Family owned and operated since 2010, Caneswear has the latest merchandise from the Miami Hurricanes, Miami Dolphins, Florida Panthers, Inter Miami CF, and more. Come visit us at our store in Davie on University Drive, just south of 595, or online at caneswear.com. Caneswear, the spot Miami fans shop.
Welton Rayom has more than 62 years of litigation experience handling insurance disputes. They're committed to resolving even the toughest insurance claims quickly. Call them for a free consultation. 954-966-4646. At Welton Rayom, they don't get paid unless you win. Property damage claims to your home, business, or condo as a result of a hurricane. Welton Rayom can help. Water, mold, fire, smoke damage, Welton Rayom can help. Call 954-966-4646.
AEW Dynamite is done. A big ending to a okay Dynamite. The question I did have, and again, I stated in my YouTube short, was you had a show. Forbidden Door, your pay-per-view, was Sunday. The first person you see being interviewed tonight is Daniel Garcia. Where was Swerve? Where was Ospreay? It just did not make sense. But in the end, you kind of got what they were doing. They built up Garcia for the mighty fall. Our scumbag is back, baby. Yes, MJF, the scumbag, is back. If you haven't watched Dynamite, you may want to tune out. Just saying. The spoilers are about to roll. And I'm going to start with the ending. Daniel Garcia, Will Ospreay put on a hell of a match. I've never doubted that Daniel Garcia can't go with these guys. My issue was, why is he being presented as a face with the other three? MJF, Will Ospreay, and Swerve. I guess we kind of got what they were trying to do in the story of it all. MJF, at the beginning of the show, Daniel Garcia being interviewed, says tonight's a big night for him, this and that. Will Ospreay, MJF interrupts. He says, tonight I want to be in your corner. And of course, Daniel Garcia accepts. They having a phenomenal match going back and forth. MJF lays the Dynamite Diamond ring on the apron. Daniel Garcia does pick it up. Question about whether he's going to use it or not. They do a few move sets with him with the ring still in his hand. Then he gets the advantage. He slides the ring on. Then he pulls it off, hands it back to MJF. As soon as he turns around, Ospreay catches him with the blade, and it is over. 1, 2, 3. Ospreay talks with Daniel Garcia in the corner. Does a little pep talk to him. Rolls out of the ring and leaves. MJF in the ring with them. In the corner still. Daniel Garcia head in hands. Upset about the loss. He didn't get the job accomplished. MJF looks at him. He says, that's on me. That's my fault. That's my bad. Then he takes Daniel Garcia to the middle of the ring, raises his hand. They do the whole babyface thing. Everything's going great. Then there comes our scumbag, baby. MJF low blow Daniel Garcia. lays him out, hits him with the Dynamite diving ring. Also, Matt Menard gets hit. They're both bleeding. You've got now Daniel Garcia, after the hard-fought match, he's being beat down by MJF. MJF takes him to the second rope. Modified tombstone pile driver. Christopher Daniels is yelling at him in the corner. What have you done? Why are you doing this? And then Will Ospreay comes back out and runs off MJF, who is spitting on people. It's the old MJF. The old MJF's back with even a little bit more of an attitude. So I got to believe at All In, it will probably be MJF versus Will Ospreay. That looks to be the route they're going. Will Ospreay upset at the end of Dynamite, telling Christopher Daniels he needs to take care of it. He says he'll take care of it. They load Daniel Garcia on the board, and he's stretchered out of the arena as Dynamite goes off the air. The other interesting thing, no Swerve Strickland. The Dynamite, after a very good win for him at Forbidden Door, he's not there. I find it interesting. Again, they also have personal things and things go on and things happen. So hopefully everything is good there. And it was he wasn't booked on this show. He comes back next week. They gave him the week off. We'll see how that goes. The other thing that happened, Jeff Jarrett, Owen Hart, quarterfinal, was taking on the wild card from the Elite. They wouldn't say who it was. There was talk that it's going to be Ricochet, that it's going to be all of the different names that we all do. That's what wrestling makes wrestling so good. You sit there and you talk yourself into a frenzy of it's this person, it's that person, it's this person, it's that person. And Frankie Fresco nailed it on Square Circle Digest last night. He said it'll be Adam Page. I didn't think so because of the vignette that they played at Forbidden Door. But Adam Page is the wild card. Then after the match, he wins. He advances on. He'll take on Jay White on Collision. The winner of that will take on Bryan Danielson at Dynamite. The thing that interested me also about that is afterwards, a couple segments later, Adam Page in the back, Matthew and Nicholas Jackson come up to him. We want you to be our fifth member on Blood and Guts. He grabs Matt Jackson and he says, I'm here for the Owen. Then he pushes Nicholas and he walks away. Let me tell you, there was a more aggressive Hangman Adam Page, at least from what he had been doing. More aggressive, little darker side of Hangman Adam Page. His hair is, I believe, a little bit darker. I'm looking at a video of it right now. No, I guess it's not as, maybe it looks a little bit darker, but he's definitely going for a darker image of the Hangman Adam Page character. And I'll tell you now, man, I'm here for that. I'm here for that, a darker Adam Page character. And let's make it happen, man. Make it happen, AEW. Let's see it. Don't forget, follow me on X, Twitch, Instagram. I'm at Sean_Stanley11. Appreciate everybody that's here with the Stanley Media House Network YouTube channel. If you're not subscribed, please help me out. Support me. Hit that subscribe button. Appreciate it. We have the live show recaps going on. Also in this AEW Dynamite, Britt Baker returns. All is right with the world. Tony Schiavone introduces DMD. She comes to ringside. The little hug. She starts talking about, everybody has a past, a present, and a future. She gets into a little bit more, and then looks like she's getting ready to leave. You hear the honking sound. Mercedes Mone pulls up. The EVPs are outside to greet her, say the celebration's ready to roll. She heads to the ring. Britt Baker's still in the ring. They're putting the balloons up. They're putting everything up for the celebration. Mercedes Mone comes into the ring, goes back and forth a little bit with Britt Baker. And ultimately, what we get after everything's done, Mone did get the heel treatment in this, which I think at this point with Britt Baker's return and the way she's got the crowd on her, it only makes sense. And it looks like Mercedes Mone is going with that. And that makes all the sense in the world. Then she challenges Britt Baker, or Britt Baker challenges Mercedes Mone to a match at All In. And Mercedes Mone says, biatch, get to the back of the line. Britt Baker looks at her, kind of leans in a little bit and says, biatch, where's the line? So we'll have to see where they go, how this gets built up. Britt Baker also went through her absence and everything that she went through, and she's been through a lot, man. She has been through a lot to get back to the point where she is. And when you look at that whole thing, it's like the Kyle O'Reilly situation. Everything he went through to get back to the thing. Adam Cole still battling, trying to get back. Britt Baker, when you hear the story, how she went through it, everything she went through to get back to just being in the ring. Those are the stories that will definitely help a little bit. And again, the way it helps is the fact that you can start relating. You can start relating to these characters. And again, that's how you start getting people emotionally invested in the characters. And I believe AEW had that for a while. And they've always had great matches. Inside the ropes, fantastic. The problem is when you're doing episodic TV is you've got to catch their attention. You've got to make them feel something to tune in every week. Yeah, you're going to get them to tune in for Will Ospreay versus Daniel Garcia or Bryan Danielson versus Pac. You get them to tune in for that. But how do you keep them? And in this week, I felt like you started trying to start seeing some of them trying to get the emotionally invested part of the fans into it. And now I look back at it, and with Daniel Garcia, maybe that's what they're trying to do this whole time. Trying to get people to kind of buy into him being that star so that when MJF just might have taken everything away, you're invested when Daniel Garcia returns, which ultimately he's going to return. And he's going to go after MJF. So now you get that emotional investment, that buy-in. You buy in emotionally. And we'll see if they can keep this going and keep it rolling. Because I do like a lot of the things. And again, I disagree that you don't have. They had a promo with Will Ospreay later in the night where he talks to Don Callis and he's like, sorry, it's my fault that I froze up. I didn't want to use, the Tiger Driver. And he asked Don Callis, I went out of the family. Don Callis is like, you know what? I'll do you this one favor, but you'll owe me a favor if I need it. That could have opened Dynamite. Will Ospreay, was a beaten man at the end of Forbidden Door. That could have been your target. But instead, you started with Daniel Garcia. And as the show ends, you can say, maybe that's what they're trying to do. But for the last week, since Buffalo, New York, Daniel Garcia's gotten the John Cena, Vince McMahon treatment. It's just been fed down your throats and fed down your throat. Daniel Garcia, Daniel Garcia, Daniel Garcia. The kid's a legit star. He's got plenty of time. And then a story on Fightful Select comes out that, maybe his contract's up or maybe he's already just re-signed a contract with AEW. Is that why he was getting this push? Is all of it just to set up for the Scumbag to come back out? Again, there are some stories that are being told in AEW. Is it all good? No. Is it all bad? No. I kind of like where it's going. Was that the greatest AEW Dynamite ever? No. But it was the Dynamite after a pay-per-view where you got to start building up to get to All In. Everything now, all roads lead to All In. Just as at Royal Rumble, WWE, all roads lead to WrestleMania. Right now, all AEW roads lead to that big pay-per-view in Wembley Stadium, AEW All In. And we got Cat for Life in, DeTrapio in, my dad is in. And if you're listening to us on X, don't forget, jump on over. If you're watching on Twitch, jump on over to the YouTube channel. Hit that subscribe button. We appreciate it. We're growing, and we continue to keep growing in the last couple of weeks, man. I appreciate all of the support that we've been getting. Let's see. Jeff Jarrett is holding on. He had a decent match with Hangman Page, I thought. Again, they built up the story to kind of tear it down in a way with Hangman Page. It was weird. It was a mind thinking Dynamite in a way. Like, it was the in-ring stuff always, to me, saves Dynamite. Stories kind of go iffy. You know, the ending, this story at the end was fantastic. I like the Hangman Adam Page. I like the fact that Britt Baker, Mercedes Moné. I did not like that let me rephrase this. I wish they would have stopped the Hook, Samoa Joe, Shibata learning tree thing. And now it looks like they've escalated this thing because Jericho comes out, cuts a promo. Taz is at ringside on commentary. The EVPs are having him removed from commentary for the night and removed from the arena. Jericho goes to commentary. You have Shibata, Hook, and Joe take on Cage of Agony. Freaking hard-hitting match. Joe, Hook, and Shibata get a triple submission. Jericho gets up at ringside, is clapping. Of course, Big Bill and the Bad Apple, Brian Keith, come in with chairs. They take out Joe, Shibata. They put Shibata's arm and kind of did like the concerto with his arm inside the chair. Samoa Joe, Big Bill lays over the steel steps. Chair shot to the back. They take both them out. And then they just beat down Hook. He gets hit with the brass knuckles. Then he gets chokeslammed through the table. Later on in the show, he's being looked at in the back by medical personnel. Once again, they strike on Hook. Hook kind of fins off for a minute. All of a sudden, there's a fireball right in the Hook's face. And then at the end, it was just Jericho and Big Bill and Brian Keith walking away, you know, him doing his learning tree thing. And I was hoping that maybe they would end it, but they're using the whole disrespect of Hook using stealing Chris Jericho's finisher now, has kind of like amp up a little bit of the storyline a little bit. And Cat for Life says that match the match was good. The match and the hard hitting and everything else. The match was good. I was hoping that story would end and they would move on. I was hoping that, okay, Hook finally got one over on the learning tree and we end it there. But obviously it's going to keep going until, I'm guessing it's going to come down to the FTW title for the world, or what it truly means in Taz world. So we'll see where they go ultimately with this, but it ultimately is going to end with Jericho and Hook in something, maybe going for the title again. I was hoping that it was over at Forbidden Door. The match was good. The match was very good. Let's see. They're trying more during closings. I give them that. No, yeah. I mean, and they've been doing pretty good on the opens. I didn't understand this one. I guess if you want to try to link it back to where they're just trying to get Daniel Garcia all the way up and elevated. So when MJF did what he did at the end, it meant more. You had also Bryan Danielson against Pac at the beginning. Tremendous wrestling match. Great storytelling. Bryan Danielson wins and he advanced to the finals of the Owen Hart tournament. He will take on either Page or Jay Lethal as well. Let me see if I missed anything else. Also, Mark Briscoe. Here's the other. Willow and had a great promo, Willow Nightingale, and then she goes out and beats Chris Statlander, gets the roll-up win. In the other half of the bracket, Mariah May is taking on Hikaru Shida. I just have this feeling that Mariah May beats Shida, goes to take on Willow at Dynamite. Chris Statlander costs Willow the match, and at All In, you're going to get Mariah May versus Toni Storm. And it'll be very interesting to see how that plays out, because that has been a tremendous story. Tremendous story. And I get it. People are like, how is that a story? Everything, that whole Toni Storm, timeless Toni Storm, has just been a great story. And how fitting would it be, like I said, if Mariah May in the middle of the story now becomes the villain, turns on her friend, wins the belt, and now you've got to have the happy ending. So Toni Storm's got to go back and win the title. It'll continue there. Let's see. Where's Ricochet? Again, my thought was this, as I said on Tuesday, last night on Squared Circle Digest, if Ricochet was not showing up to Dynamite tonight, and again, I've heard that he's nothing official. I've heard that it's pretty much conclusion that he's going to AEW. But what's to say he doesn't show up and cost Braun Breaker the match at Money in the Bank? Samantha Irvin will be at ringside. Braun Breaker starts, looking at her. And we'll know quickly if that is maybe the way they go. But all indications say that Ricochet is going to All Elite Wrestling. Did not show up tonight. But again, there's still one person missing on the Elite side of Blood and Guts. And we found out tonight, Mark Briscoe will be the first member of Team AEW. Look, I know Mark Briscoe and he's violent and all this. Every time they do a Team AEW, it's, why don't you have your Will Ospreay? Why don't you have your Swerve Strickland? Why don't you have your guys that represent AEW? Mark Briscoe is the Ring of Honor champion. I get it. He just fought for the TNT title. But at Blood and Guts, why would you not want to have the top echelon of AEW to defend AEW? And nothing against Mark Briscoe. He's going to go out there. He's going to kick ass. It's going to be very violent. He's going to jump through a table. He's going to get thrown through tables. We know what them boys do. But as a representation of AEW, why are you not putting the top 5 from AEW to take on the Elite? And it's going to be interesting. Do they put a stipulation into this match? But right now, Mark Briscoe, the only member of Team AEW, and the Elite is missing their 5th member, who they thought was going to be Hangman Adam Page. It was not. And I think that was about it for the show on AEW Dynamite tonight, man. But the ending, look, say what you want to say, about AEW. And I'm trying to stay more positive on everything. And I'm not going to sit here and try to just downplay everything. I want them to start more stories. Since Revolution, they have gotten better at storytelling. Not necessarily the stories that I want told, but at least they're getting more into storytelling on the show. And then tonight you saw MJF came back and he was like, I'm the wolf of wrestling. And then he befriended Daniel Garcia. And then tonight he turns on Garcia and he becomes a scumbag once again. There's things happening in AEW. That's all you can hope for. We'll have to see how they put everything together as they lead into All In. But I got to believe right now you're probably going to get MJF versus Will Ospreay. You're probably going to get Mercedes Mone versus Britt Baker. You'll probably get, I'm guessing, the Elite defending the tag team titles. I think Blood and Guts will be before All In. So, you'll probably get, and will it be the Acclaimed? Will the Acclaimed be part of the Blood and Guts team? They still are owed a tag team title match. Do you get the Elite versus the Acclaimed at AEW All In? Again, right now it is all eyes forward, focused on All In right now since Forbidden Door has ended. I did find it kind of odd. The only two things carried over from Forbidden Door really was the Hook Jericho, Britt Baker, Mercedes Moné. Again, they had the injuries playing up. Will Ospreay with all the tape on from his match with Swerve. They played on those, but like as far as storylines or anything driven from Forbidden Door, it's as if most of that pay-per-view didn't happen. That I find kind of odd. You had 14 matches, and you really only brought 2 through to the storylines. We'll see where they go, man. But all in all, a good AEW Dynamite, a tremendous ending to Dynamite, an unexpected ending probably to Dynamite. We'll see where they build from here. Swerve Strickland will return next week. And also you'll have the finals, I believe, next week on Dynamite, or will be the finals of the Owen Hart. I'm not sure. I have to double check that. I believe that's what they were saying. I know the Collision, you'll get the semi-main event, Jay White versus Adam Page. And then I believe the winner will take on Bryan Danielson. And then Willow Nightingale waits for Mariah May or Shida. So we'll get those finals also done. So next week's Dynamite will look good. We'll be back in tomorrow. Actually, tonight, I'm going to try to watch the WrestleMania XL behind the scenes. And then I want to put something out on that tomorrow. Hopefully, I'll be able to get to watch TNA. It is July 4th. We'll see if I get to watch that. If not, Friday, check the channel. We'll have some stuff there. The next live show will be Friday after SmackDown. Please hit that subscription button, Stanley Media House Network. If you're watching us on Twitch, X, appreciate you 100%. Hit the like button there as well. And then please jump over to Stanley Media House Network. Hit the subscribe, hit the like. I appreciate everybody that's been tuning in and helping me build this. And of course, tune in every Tuesday, 7 p.m. Myself, Frankie Fresco. We talk everything pro wrestling, and we want to interact with you. And we want this to be respectful conversation, man. What I see and I like about wrestling, you're not going to see and like about wrestling. So the next person beside you might not like it the way you see it, but we can damn sure conversate about it and have a great time doing it. That's what makes pro wrestling so good. So in words of the great Gordon Soley, so long from the sun, shine, state.